Arts District. We're doing it. Yeah. Love it. I've performed in Vegas many times, but it's always been in a casino, and I've always hated it. I'm not a casino guy. There's like too much AC in there. You know, I wear contact lenses, so that means my eyes get dry like that. I just walk in and I'm like, I hate it here. I was telling my fiance we came out here, and the first time I ever worked in Vegas was at the Four Queens. I don't even know if that hotel's still up. Is it? Yeah. Okay, well, we know it's not for long, right? We're like, oh yeah, it doesn't even fit in Fremont Street. Four Queens is just looking at the thing that overtook Binions, and it's like, yeah, we're not long for the hall. We're gonna go soon. But I remember I worked there on Monday through Sunday, a whole week in Vegas, which is way too long to be in Vegas, alright? If you live here, that's different. You can go home, go to church, cleanse yourself, you know. But as an out-of-towner, Vegas is a 2-day town. You come in the first day, you drink everything, you know, do drugs, whatever you want. And then the next day, you don't even want to be there, but you paid for 2 days. So you rally. You ever see someone on that 4-second day who didn't want to be out there? You see some 4-foot margarita strapped to his begrudging, frustrated neck, just... He doesn't want to be there. It's a 2-day town, but I was in Vegas for 7 days. And I remember the first morning I woke up, and I came down the elevator to go get some breakfast. And the first thing I saw when the elevator doors opened was a middle-aged man bent over a card table getting his hands zip tied. He was being arrested at 10 a.m. And that's how I started my day. I saw that and I'm like, oh, let's get some eggs. And then the next day I came down, also at 10 a.m. to get some breakfast, doors open, and I saw another man just sobbing next to an ATM while his buddy was consoling him. 34 years old, I've never had my best male friend rub my back like this. And he's just sobbing next to an ATM and they're just doing this, and I'm like, time to get eggs again? It's just sad. That's why I like this. I'm here Thursday, I got 2 shows tomorrow, and then Saturday, then I'm out. You know, we're not even staying at a casino. We're at the Spring Hill Suites next to the convention center. That's as close as I want to be to any of it, you know? We drove in today, it was 5 hours, we got here in 5 hours, then we pulled in, then we had to wait 15 minutes in our car, because there was a lunatic meth head running around the parking lot, and we had to wait him out, alright? It was almost like it was Jurassic Park, and we're just in our cars looking at the dinosaur. Yeah, we're just gonna let that velociraptor do a couple laps, until it decides to leave. This dude was intense, he came up to the window, and was just like, I need a lighter! How do you politely say, we don't smoke? And we're closed the window. The window was closed. I'm sorry, sir. We don't smoke. I'm having nicotine withdrawals. That's what he yelled. I'm having nicotine withdrawals. And I'm like, maybe, alright. I'm guessing another, but it was so long, we had to wait 15 minutes. He just kept circling. And I just kept looking at my lady, and I'm like, don't worry, I picked a good hotel. And she's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah. And then we went inside, and it was cool. But the outside was an experience. I like this section here, just a little judgy. I like that. Everyone here just time of their life over here. I don't know, we're the French judges in the Olympics. And we're gonna reserve our thoughts till the end. I appreciate that. It's a nice club. I like the lighting in here. Comedy club, sex dungeon. We go down. Could go either way. Could be a weird swingers setup. We go down. That's to be found out. Yeah. So I do have to ask, because I'm very interested. Clap it up if you're a local, live here in Las Vegas person. Always what I wanted to perform to. If you're not local, don't worry, I'm not picking on you. You're great too. But like, you know, at the casinos I only perform to tourists. That's where tourists go. And I used to hate it. I used to hate it so much. There'd just be a guy in a Green Bay Packers jersey. And it wasn't even game day. Just, there's nothing sadder than seeing a guy in a football jersey not on game day. Just a regular day. Nothing screams, I need a pamphlet about alcoholism. Like wearing a football jersey not on game day. That's why I like it here. It's nice. The Arts District is coming around. I like that the Arts District is surrounded. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. The last time I performed in Vegas, I was working at the Strat, and I don't like going to Starbucks. I mean, I'll go if I have to, but I prefer going to like a regular, just a local coffee shop. And I looked, and there was walking distance to get here from the Stratosphere, and I made that walk through terrifying blocks. And they didn't tell you, why doesn't Google Maps have that feature? They should just have a feature where like you look up walking directions and it goes, no. You're gonna Uber, is what you're gonna do. They don't have that. They actually let me make that walk. Boy, was I terrified. And then I had to make that same walk back with a latte. Somehow more vulnerable looking. It says bug me immediately. Okay, salt maple leaf latte. With the artwork on this. It's nice out there. Glad things are going back to normal somewhat, I think. I don't know. Football season just started. Pumped about that, yeah. Really what I love more than sports is just watching stadium fights on social media. Have you guys started watching stadium fights? Apparently everyone's just been at home waiting for things to open up so they can punch a stranger in the face at a football game. That's what everyone's been waiting for. I've learned a couple things. If you're in a football stadium and you get into a fight, be in the top row. Alright? If you're in the top row, someone down there has an issue with you, wail away. The odds are you're going to do great. If you're in that bottom row, you apologize immediately and buy that guy a beer. Alright? There's too much leverage coming down. That guy's never won down there. That guy's just getting plastered by a giant. And another thing I've learned from watching stadium fights, most of the fight is just chubby dudes covering their bellies. That's most of what it is. They get two punches and they're like, oh, my belly's showing. And I'm like, this ain't the time to be self-conscious. You're fighting for your life in the mezzanine. Like, you can, ooh, my belly. By the way, that wasn't the big reveal that you were big. It's not like everyone at home was going, wow, he spelled, oh, never mind. All right. This isn't the time to be self-conscious, man. Punch that person. I don't know. I just want to get my name out there before the world ends. I want to get Zoltan to be a popular enough name where I don't have to repeat it. Yeah. Dude, Where's My Car? Yeah, that movie came out my freshman year in high school. And ruined the next 4 years. I was a pretty shy kid in high school and everyone would just walk up and go, Zoltan! And I was like, God damn it. I've learned recently, I guess I've learned my entire life, but my name can either start or end a conversation. It's one of two ways. Like last week I was checking into a hotel and the guy behind the counter goes, Zoltan. Whoa! Zoltan Kaszas? I'm like, yeah. He's like, is that name Greek? And I'm like, no, it's Hungarian. And then he just went on to tell me about his favorite Greek restaurant. Anyway. For the next 10 minutes, just went on and on about this Greek restaurant across the street. And he's like, they got falafels the size of your head, buddy. And I'm like, I'm Hungarian. And he goes, well, what do you got? What are you, against Greeks? And I'm like, I'll go check out the restaurant. Just calm down. So it'll either be that or it'll be the other way. I was in Memphis, Tennessee 3 weeks ago, and I went to a barbecue place. There's an old man running the counter, and he's like, I need a name for the order, and I'm like, Zoltan. And he just said, no. I've never gotten that response before. You ever said your name to somebody and they go, no. We're not doing that today at all. And then I showed him my credit card. I was like, it's right there. And he goes, I'm not typing that in. He goes, around here you're Zo. And he just typed in Z-O. He gave me my receipt. And I was like, what a weird contrast. comes alive at night. That's what it is. Like the early show. We had more people at the early show, and they were great, but they were like, ah, and then it was over. All right. It was like still you. Like we still have the heat from the sun in us, you know. That's why, like, I feel like every time I come out to Phoenix, like this area is very. You guys stay out late because the heat doesn't go away. You know, you still have like heat that would be any other city's noontime heat, while it's in the middle of the night, and you're like, you can't sleep. It's too hot. You know, we gotta go out there and just drink, and then you only know you should go home because eventually bars are like, we're closed. You have to go home. And you're like, I can't go home. It's 80 degrees. All right? It's 80 degrees outside, and the sky is beautiful, and it's a magical land out here. It's magical with robots, and then robot cars, and robot food delivery, and then people on motorcycles, no helmets. It makes no sense. It's like you guys are in the future and the past at the same time. It's bizarre. You can be picked up by a car that drives itself, and you still have plastic bags at CVS. None of it makes any sense. It's a city people keep moving to, even though they're like, we don't have any water. And people are like, keep building. I read that in the news. They built a new town and people bought the homes, and they're like, there's no water. They got a letter in the mail going, there's not going to be any water. And you own just a shack in the desert, and you got to get a tank now, like it's Mad Max, and they got to just. Where did that water come from, by the way? No one tells you. Someone's got black market water being driven into the hills. It's bizarre. It's everybody and it's nobody at the same time. Each community is so different. You can meet people that have been here for generations. Their skin looks like leather, and my family was born on the sun, and we have tattoos that have melted into stains. That's what we have. And there's so many different groups. You go to Scottsdale, and it's just rich, retired athletes that are married to active strippers. And then that's just that community over there. And then you go over to another one, and then it's different over there. And this one's just a school. I had to drive, the guy who's been driving me around, he's just like, yeah, this town was built just for the school. And then it just kept growing, and it all just blended into the same thing. It's beautiful what you guys have going on here. It is. I come out here, and I'm like, when I come out here and it's not summer, I'm like, man, I could live here. I could live here, but then I remember I've come out here in the summer. One time, 10, 12 years ago, no, it was probably closer to 15 years ago. I came out here, you guys, the sun melted an entire booklet of CDs I had. It ruined my entire catalog, all right? I had a 2005 Honda Civic. I would come out here for gigs, and I would just have this booklet of CDs. And I remember one time I didn't zip it up all the way, and part of the booklet was sticking out, and the sun just sizzled. Ruined music. I didn't even pay for those CDs, but like they were. I paid for the blanks, all right, and then I downloaded it, but still, it ruined my entire music collection. I've been coming out here for a long time. 2007, I came out here to audition for Last Comic Standing, and it was at this venue. They did it here, and I slept outside in that ditch. Because we all lined up the night before because they were only going to see 100 people or so. So we showed up the day before. I'd been doing comedy like 6 months. That was a good time to try to make my television debut. You know, after you try a new hobby for 6 months, you're like, I'm pretty sure I'm the best that's ever done this. It's time for the world to see me, so me and my buddy. That was such a monumental trip. It was the first time I smoked weed. I came out with my buddy, and he's like, you ever smoked weed before? I'm like, I never have. He's like, well, this is a long drive. It's not a bad time to start. And then I did that, and then I just stared at the desert, and then I ate a lot of banana chips. I never had the munchies before, and I'm like, banana chips are delicious. He's like, they are not. You are high. And then we got out here, and then I slept in a ditch, and then I woke up, and I didn't get to audition. We made it up the steps right before the doors opened, and they're like, we're cutting the audition, and I'm like, I want to burn the town down. And it was I think it was a good learning experience, you know? That's why you come out here to make something of yourself in the desert, and then you fail. And the sun, you have two choices. You either die or you keep moving forward. The sun is very motivating, you know? I didn't stay out here. I went back to San Diego where it's a little cooler and figured it out. But it's very nice to come back. I've always had an odd relationship with Arizona. I love it. It's beautiful. Some of your people that live here scare me. But all of you are generally nice for the most part. Some of you have a lot of flags hanging out of your pickup truck. Which, that's a choice. That's a choice. That meant that guy showed up to a Home Depot with no flags. Or he got a lot of Amazon packages and he just opened them up. And I was like, I want people to know I believe in this and I support that. And I'll kill you if you do that. Because flags, depending on what they say, can be very aggressive, but at the same time, it's a piece of cloth. So it's still a little, you know, like it's not a, you know, I think about that. Like, don't you dare tread on me. Oh no, the wind tackled it up. You gotta loosen it so everyone can tell I'm not the one to be messed with. Beautiful city. This club treats me well. They got I have a driver. I've always just Ubered around. And they're like, no, we have a car service. And they pick us up. They pick my wife and I up in like a black SUV, like a Suburban, like I'm a rapper. It's awesome. And then they drop me off right here, right by the Trader Joe's. And it makes no sense. It looks like Lil Wayne's going grocery shopping. Because people stop and they're like, oh, who's in the SUV? And then it's just me. And they're like, who the hell is that guy? And it makes, I love it. I love it. We have a cool driver. He's an old black man named Charles. He picked us up with Barry White playing, and which is cool until it's a quiet ride. And you're like, I think Charles is trying to sleep with us. If someone puts on Barry White and doesn't go, hey, I'm a big fan, and you just let the mood take it where it will, you're like, I feel like we should speak up now before it gets too awkward. It's awesome. We're staying over at the Omni, very nice hotel. My wife's with me on this trip. It's a nice hotel. There's not a lot of insulation. You hear everything. From the street, you hear everything. From the other rooms, you hear everything. Like, my wife and I were having a nice night last night. We were in bed while watching our Netflix programs, and the people next door were having way more fun than we were. So much more fun. I don't know what they were doing. There's a lot of fun noises and rhythmic thumping. And it was, have you ever been in that situation? Like, we were having a good time, but when you hear someone having a better time, it really makes you rethink your good time. Like, I was plenty happy with the evening, and then I just had like, oh, we could be doing that. You know? And we were having, it was so weird because they're having a great time. And I look over, my wife's wearing her bonnet. My wife, she wears like a silk bonnet to, if you don't know what that is, like imagine like a chef's pajamas. Imagine a chef going to bed for the night and just a silk. So she's in a bonnet, kind of drooped over. And I was clipping my toenails. Because they got a little long, and I was like, I should get this before I go to bed, and we're watching our program, and then we heard those people having a good time. And I remember she looked at me with her bonnet, she saw me clipping my toenails, and we just had this moment. No words were exchanged, but I could tell that we had the same idea, and the idea was, should we? And without saying any words, we both decided, no, we're not. No, let them have a good time. We decided our evening, and this was our evening. And we're plenty happy with this being our evening. Oh, man. But yeah, we had a good time. It's a good time to be alive. Things are going well. Things are crazy, but they're also okay at the same time. Isn't that kind of fun? Like, there was last week, the correspondence dinner for the White House thing, there was a shooter, which is horrible, but no one got shot because this guy sucked. You know, he wasn't. I don't want him to be good at it. I'm glad he wasn't. But also, he made it too far in. Can we say that? How did he get into the lobby? He had no shirt on. How does that... It's a tuxedo event. Everyone's in a tuxedo. Women are in beautiful gowns. And then there's a shirtless guy. No one even in the parking lot was like, hey, is that weird? That guy got into the lobby. Like, maybe if it was a pool party, you know, you'd be like, what's that bulge? That's not a gun. You know, like you have that moment. But he had no shirt on. And you're like, tackle him already. It was crazy to watch the videos of how some people reacted, some people ran. Some people was escorted by Secret Service, and then their wives were not protected. I saw that someone had Secret Service. It wasn't the president; it was somebody else, and they had like secret, like, oh, cover him up. And then his wife was like, I'm coming too. And she had nobody. Nobody was around her. You know, that was an argument on the drive home. That was supposed to be a nice evening. You got dressed up. There was probably a good dinner. There was live entertainment. How did that end up? How come none of your security guards were protecting me? I don't know, baby. Was that your doing? You know that was an argument. Someone stole champagne. I don't know if you saw that. As someone left, they had security footage. Someone was stealing. Those had to be the comedians. Because they hire comedians for the event. We don't have any money, of course. Like, that was just going to be like the best dinner those comedians have ever eaten in their lives. And then this idiot that can't afford a shirt ruined it for everybody. And you have that moment. I'm gonna drink this by myself in my hotel room. Have a good time. It's a tough time to be alive. There's a lot to pay attention to. It's too much to pay attention to. Like, I read news articles, kinda. I skim them, and I kind of draw my own conclusions. So I'm like, I think I get what that's gonna say. You know? Like, I saw this, I read this, I didn't read this. I watched a short video of it, and I didn't even finish the video. I don't know what I'm doing. My life's not that busy, but I'll watch an informative, like, news video, right? But it's in a short, and I'll get 30 seconds in, and there's 30 more seconds, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know where that's headed. And I'll just, I don't know, I guess I'm busy. I gotta go do my own things, but I saw this thing like billionaires. There's like I didn't get his name, Plantair. I don't know if it's his name or his company's name, but I guess these billionaires are trying to put their brains onto like hard drives. So they can live when they die. Like, they're trying to live forever, and they're like, I'll put my brain on a hard drive. And I'm like, what is that? What is that about having $1 billion where you just want to live forever? That is like the real difference, because the rest of us, we're not depressed, but there's days where we take peace in knowing we don't have to do this again. You know? Like, you know what I mean? You're stuck on an airplane and it won't take off, but you just try to calm yourself down. You're like, I get to die one day. This isn't forever, you know? But those guys, their life is so different from ours. They're like, I need to live forever. You need to put my brain onto a hard drive, because they know the afterlife ain't gonna be good for them. And so they're like, I gotta hang out right here. And I'd be way worse at head of the FBI than that guy. One time I had a job in LA at a velour tracksuit company. My job was to steam the velour tracksuits. That's what I did for 8 hours. I would hang velour and then I would steam them. I had a very good steamer, and I'd steam them and then I'd pack them. And then I had to put them all in my car, and I had to get to UPS before 5 because that's the cutoff. And there was days I didn't get there in time, all right? There's days I'd pull up at like 5:02 and UPS would be closed, and I'd be like, damn it. And I wouldn't drive back to work. I would just take all the packages home with me, because I didn't want my boss to know that I'm a bad employee. So I would just hide all these packages in my house, and then I would take them the next morning, but sometimes I forgot. So there would just be random loose velour tracksuits in boxes because I missed the cutoff. And I paid taxes for that job. Isn't that insane? Like, the government was like, oh, here's the taxes from the man that steams velour for 8 hours. That's all right. They gave a lot of it back. When you don't make any money, they're like, we didn't know. Here you go. That's nice of the government. They're like, we didn't know. That's terrifying. I don't know how you get by, but